Hello, everybody. It is day 74 of 365 days of my suspending disbelief journey. And today is July 5th, 2024. This is the Friday of the week that I had no kids, and I started feeling the deadline looming. So today was like, oh boy, like I'm running out of days. They're going to be homesick. And I was like, chill, like you still have a few days, but I could really just feel that pressure weighing down on me that I had not got as much done as I wanted to, that I had not um had the plans in place that I wanted to and stuck to them and all of these things. Um I really wanted to get taxes done. I have a ton of catching up still to do on my Simplify Declutter challenge, which is a 12-month rolling decluttering challenge. With like I create a lot of content for that one, and um, try to get it all scheduled out ahead and emails prepped and posts prepped and all of that kind of stuff. And um, because it's a 12-month challenge, like it wasn't something that I could create the whole thing ahead and have it all done before I ever really started it. So it's been going on. And then with everything that I had going on um, in June, especially with my daughter's dad, my ex, and it just, I got super behind. So at this point, I am like almost 3 weeks behind on that, which I absolutely again know that I can give myself grace for, but at the same time I have people who pay monthly for this, and to be 3 weeks behind on a monthly thing is too far behind. That's not a standard that I'm okay with. So as other, like I had these events that were going on this week. I had live things that I had to do that just did not allow me to be creating a ton of content. And then of course, yesterday I was in like brain fog, just totally ineffective land because of the choice that I made to watch TV. And that sounds so ridiculous, but it really, really threw off my plans. Right. Um, so today was, I had a live training to do for the Butterfly Network. I will drop the links in all of these episodes for the Butterfly Network, for the Simplify Challenge, like whichever ones I mention, I'll make sure that I'm dropping them in the show notes for each episode. So if there's anything that's like, oh, I could really use that to help me in my life, just, grab a spot. There are spots in almost all of them. And yeah, so I had this live training to do, and I had put it off. It was actually my June training. I had pushed it off because I got sick. And actually, the day that I was supposed to do the live training was when I woke up with I had lost my voice. My throat was really bad. I was coughing like crazy, all this stuff. And that had been like a week and a half, and I still was like struggling, and I still am still still sort of struggling with my throat, with this scratchy feeling and the cough and all of that. And to the point where sometimes when I get coughing, I gag so hard I almost throw up, right? So like it's been really, really nasty. It doesn't want to go away. The rest of me feels fine. My energy feels fine. Like I'm not exhausted. I'm not um I don't have like the runny nose or any of the other stuff to go with it, just the cough. But anyway, so I was doing this live training, and it was funny because I had planned the training around the topic of business boundaries. And that was because it kept coming up in my Butterfly Network business membership where I do the group coaching. It was a topic that just kept coming up. People didn't have the boundaries in place. People weren't holding to the boundaries that they set, things like that. And it can really screw us up. And I couldn't help it, right? I was just laughing, like I had just had the experience of on Wednesday night, so this is Friday, on Wednesday night of staying up until 4:15 watching Vikings and being ridiculous, right? And then it totally demolishing my next day. And it just highlighted for me an area that I needed to create a boundary in for myself. And that was sort of the whole purpose of that training, was around business boundaries, not just being about how we expect our clients to behave. They're not just outward. They're not just specific to, how many hours you'll work or how much time you'll put in to help clients directly or any of that kind of stuff. When we don't have boundaries for ourselves, we then end up screwing ourselves up like I did that day, right? So in a lot of areas, I do have boundaries for myself. And this was just one that got highlighted that was like, oh, that is a boundary that needs to be created. And um, also, because I don't allow myself to watch ever, the realization that I had was like, that's why I have such a problem with the self control with turning it off, is because I literally never watch it. And so it feels like I'm deprived. And so when I do watch it, and of course, like, first world problem, being deprived of TV. Okay. But because it feels like I'm deprived, then I binge when I do turn it on. And it just becomes this cycle, right? Where then because I binge, then I don't want to turn it on again for a really long time, and all of these things. So having that realization was like, okay, there needs to be a boundary in place where I actually watch TV more often and give myself that permission, but just have it be one episode instead of 6 or 7 hours of episodes. Right. And, I could not stop laughing because it was just like the perfect example to use in my training to be like, look, we all do it, right? We all have things that are that we have not set boundaries for ourselves with, and then we end up abusing the energy because of it. And it's not intentional, and it just is a really good chance to reflect back and look at like, okay, well, what could I be doing instead that would work better, that would support my energy, that would help me to stay balanced, that would help me to um always be showing up and not ever having these burnout days where I totally destroyed my energy because I stayed up all night. So it was a really beautiful chance to reflect and look back at all of that. And then the most interesting thing happened during that training, because again, it was a live training. um, one of the ladies on the training was like, "Oh, sending you healing for your throat, for your cough." And as she sort of tuned into my energy, she was like, "Whoa," and was like, "Coach Bree, you've got some chaos energy stuck to you, and you need to clear that, and that will help it to go away and whatnot." So actually, I have felt a massive shift since that happened, and since I put in I took the time to build out some structures that needed to be built out. For my family life, since we're coming into summertime now, and I had picked up this chaotic energy from my my daughter's dad, when he was staying here. And he just brought in so much destruction into our lives so quickly that it really like hooked itself to me and was like, we're in chaos. Right. And, um, not feeling angry about that, but just realizing how much it had been affecting me, how even for the rest of this, like the whole first 4 days of this week, even the successful parts were like almost not accidental, but they were just random. I was not being intentional with my energy. I did not have my like, here's what needs to get done plan in place so that I could follow it, which is my strong point. That's something that I'm really good at. And the fact that I didn't do it says a lot, right? So when I realized that, I was like, yeah, like we had him here, everything went into chaos. And then now my kids are gone and summer vacation has started, and our schedules are going to shift because of that, because they always do. And normally, I already sort of reset my schedule a lot because I get bored because of ADHD. But I had not redone our schedules. There was no structure. And there was no structure while they were gone. And I was just doing sort of whatever came up first, whatever was top priority, and allowing, my business and the things that I was doing to sort of take over. And again, not beating myself up over it, but it was just like, damn, if I had been paying attention, or if I had realized that I was in this chaotic energy, that I was not giving myself that structure, um and if I had cleared that out and all of that stuff, I could have been so much better off and been much more effective this week again. So a lot of reflections going on. And again, though, it's really interesting because through the lens of this suspending disbelief challenge is that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So all of this is lessons that were meant to be learned. All of it is, things that were supposed to happen. The timing is exactly right. It is universal timing. The universe knows better. God, source, universe, right? There's a lot more grace that's more easily given to myself when I know that no matter what, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and that things are just perfect and fine and still in alignment. And thankfully I still was able to successfully run my events this week, my Activate event and my live business training and all of these things. Um so yeah, a lot of learning came out of that, but also definitely feeling the deadline looming of my kids coming back home, which is just like a few more days. And I am I love my children dearly, and there's a reason that I wanted to stay home and work from home from the beginning, before I ever really figured out my purpose, my passions, any of that stuff. I wanted to be home with my kids, and I still want that. And I really enjoy being around them, but let me tell you, 1 week a year is not enough. So, and I can't even really count the times where there's like a weekend day that the younger kids' dad takes them, because it's one day. And then, if my mom takes my oldest for me, which is amazing, and I love her so much for doing it, um, she still has to be back, at least over the school year. This has been the case, that she still had to be back to go to school on Monday. And it wasn't even 2 solid days, right, on a weekend like normal, because of the shift in schedule with my ex. So it was, it's really been coming into my awareness that, like, I'm desperately craving a more consistent opportunity to reset, so that I can be the kind of mom that I want to be with my kids. But also having the same realization that my youngest is going to school in the fall, and she's going to be gone, half days, 5 days a week. And this is it. This is the last summer of just, I mean, and we still get every summer, but this is the last summer of, her having been this age and being home with me all day, every day, forever. Right. So, going to soak it in as much as I can while I can, and hold off on the feeling of overwhelm of I don't get enough time just alone. Right. Because it is going to start becoming more and more time alone. And, this is just the season of life. And it's one that I absolutely adore, and I'm really tired, right? So, um, hmm, it's very interesting because I just about started crying there. So, it's like this mix of sadness of like, my baby's gonna go to school, to um, also feeling that overwhelm and just having that be okay, having it be okay that I feel both. And, um, not choosing to feel guilty over the fact that I'm like, I want my kids to be gone sometimes, right? Like, any of you who are moms, we know, right? We know that it's a lot. And especially if you're a single mom and you don't have that partner, taking over some of the responsibility, even for a few minutes a day, um, it's a heavy load. So, uh, and I'm not saying that to complain. I'm just saying that to, that's the season that I'm in right now. And that's okay. but I am tired, right? I am very tired of it. And while loving being around my children, a week is not even enough for me to feel reset. And that says a lot. Although I will also say, I probably would have felt more reset if I had not been in this chaos energy. So it's all just been a very interesting, different experience. And, um, you know, I really loved the training today. I really love the new format that I have for my business membership, where the live trainings are not live on Facebook, they are live on Zoom. So I get to see my lovely ladies' faces. I get to have conversations with them after the training. We get to, have that a little bit of a deeper connection, and they get a little bit of one-on-one coaching, or not necessarily one-on-one, but just live coaching, right? On a call versus by messages, which is a little bit different, right? So it just brings a little bit of a different touch and a different level of service for that program. And I'm really loving it. I'm really loving the alignment, and having trusted myself to make the changes that I made and have them turn out so incredibly well. Um, Again, just falling back into that. I trust myself to create the experiences that I want to have. I trust myself to create the offers that I want to create in my business, and to change the offers that I have if they don't feel in alignment, and trust myself to find better alignment. And it's working. It's all working. And um my success is here, and it's great, and all of those things. So that is what I have for you today, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.